Drop the brace.
Hey guys, Mike here from Fullhousers, and welcome to Barrows Bounty Part 13, which is my Barrows series in which I'm trying to get one of every item from the normal Barrow brothers, and later I'll be adding accuracy. For now, it's just the original brothers, and if you've ever been watching my series and been thinking, man, I wish that he would be able to get more lucky and get more items this week, and I'd be able to just sit and watch a long video, well then you're in luck, because this week was a massive week for Barrows. Now, Barrows Deluxe came out, and I could not do it, because Barrows is pretty tough, it's pretty challenging. Just from seeing and listening to my friends do it, I can tell you that much. And so I just went to the other Barrows, the normal Barrows, and went to go get the tokens. Now, the totems weren't as pricey as I thought they would be, but they were still a pretty nice chunk of money, and it was the fact that they were given in increments of like 1 to 13 or 1 to 15 or something like that. And that means even if they're not that expensive, they add a pretty good chunk of money when you get quite a bit from one chest. Now, unfortunately, at the time of making this video, they're down to like 10k each, which is pretty cheap, so I've started collecting them at this point. But if they get back up to like 25k, I'll probably sell them again, because 25k is a pretty reasonable amount to sell. I did sell most of these for 50 each, but I started selling for, less and less as time went on. But enough talking about the setup, I can talk about what I've actually got this week, and it is quite a bit. We should probably go ahead and get on to those. But I can say this week I got 20 items, and 2 of those were new. So 20 items is by far the most that we've ever had. So we better go ahead and get started right on to the first item. So actually, when this week started, I was actually starting on like a 60-run dry streak or something along those lines. But I did finally break it with this item, a Varric Flail, which is my 4th Varric Flail. And at this point, it was going up thanks to Barrows Deluxe, but it wasn't quite so high. But it's still okay item. But then 4 runs later, I did get this Varric Skirt, which is the first of the new items of this week. So, I'm pretty sure Marth from RS Bros 2 said that this was the item we were going to get, so he wins the invisible prize of nothing. Congrats! And then the first day of Barrows Deluxe came, so I was off to try to collect some of the totems, and the first run of the day I was surprised to see this, an Aram's Wand, my 2nd Aram's Wand, and is now the 2nd most expensive item at Barrows. The pistol crossbow went down really quick after the release of Barrows Deluxe, so this is the 2nd most valuable one. And what can I say? Love it. So a few runs later, I still hadn't gotten any totems, but I did get this Guthan Spear, which is my 3rd Guthan Spear, and it's still actually pretty high even after the Barrows Deluxe crash, so pretty nice item. And then 8 runs later, we get this Derek Plate Body. It is my 2nd Plate Body, I believe, and a pretty decent item at that. Then 13 runs later, we get this Aram's Top, which Aram's of course loves us, so this is our 7th Aram's Top. It's 800k or something like that, but it's constantly changing, so who knows what it is now. And then 20 runs later, we get this Derek's Body, which is the 2nd one for this episode, but my 3rd one overall, and as I said, pretty decent. 6 runs after that, then we get ourselves a Varric Brassard, which is the 4th Brassard of the series, which is a pretty stable item that Varric does like to give me quite so often. Then 5 runs later, we score this Guthan's Helm, which is the 2nd new item of this week, and I guess the last one of this week, but is a pretty nice item to get, and it's pretty weird seeing since I have not seen it before, and hopefully we'll see it again. It took about 23 more runs, but then our next item is Torag Legs. This is the 5th Torag Legs that he's given us, and I really wish he would give us something other than his legs and his helm, because he just loves to give us those legs and helms. This isn't an item per se, but 3 runs later we did pick up this Trisk Key Piece, which while I don't keep track of so much as an item, it is a pretty nice item to get, so I do show clips of it. And keeping in the same vein, in the very next trip, we get a 2nd Trisk Key Piece, which is pretty freaking rare, I think. And it was pretty nice to see, I guess, and like 2 in 1 inventory. I think that's pretty cool. Then 12 runs after that Trisk Key Piece, we pick ourselves up an Aram's Book. It's been a while since we've seen one of these, but it's still nice to see. It's my 5th Aram's Book, and it is up, actually, it's back up to around 8.7 mil. So this is still a really great item to have. Fortunately, I'm not selling it, and it's going to be a placeholder in my bank, but hey, the next book I get, I can sell it. Pure profit. Next up is around 14 runs later, I pick up another Varric skirt, which is my second Varric skirt, and the second one of the episode, so it's strangely enough the item that I needed, and now I have 2 of them. It's pretty cool. Well, actually, speaking of items that I needed and now I have 2 of, 6 runs later, we pick up a Guthan's Helm, which is exactly the same thing as the Varric skirt. It's pretty weird that they were both together, and now they're both together. That's pretty weird. So next 12 runs later, I pick up this Carol's crossbow, which is our 3rd Carol's crossbow of the entire series, and it's actually okay. It's like 400k, so I'll take it. Then 5 runs after that, I score this Varric flail, which is our 5th Varric flail, and it's a pretty consistent item to get too, I guess. I guess Varric is starting to like us more. And then 5 runs after that, we get Brassy number 5. So a Varric Brassard, once again showing that I guess Varric is starting to like us. Then 6 runs after that, we pick up this Carol's pistol crossbow. So this is the 3rd pistol crossbow that we have gotten, and it now makes in this episode, we've gotten all 3 of the over 3 mil items that Barrows can give us. So I am pretty happy about that. And to be even happier, the very next run, we pick up this Carol's top, which is our 2nd Carol's top, and so now we have a bank space. Yay for bank spaces. And then the next run after that, we get a flail and a Trisk key piece, both in the same chest. So this was our 6th flail, and even more showing that Varric loves us now. So pretty weird that he is starting to show us all this love now. And then for the last item of the video, I picked up this Aram skirt, which is our 2nd Aram skirt, and it's back to Aram's, who has always loved us even from the beginning. So I guess he was starting to get jealous of Varric and decided he's just going to drop his skirt for us. So as this week comes to a close, we've had so many items this week. The totals are up on the screen right now, and there's been quite a few additions to it thanks to all the new items. And really, I only got 2 new items this week, I guess, but with all the other things that I had to change, that was quite a bit of stuff going on. So that means we're down to 2 more items to complete the original Barrow Brothers sets, and those are a Derek helm and a Torag body. So I guess it's starting to get to where it's easier to figure out which is going to be the next one to get, so it's between 2 of them. You got a 50% chance. So what's the next item I'm going to get? I'm going to go with a Derek helm. It's just calling to me, and I hope that next week I'll be able to get one. But if I got a Torag plate body, or if I got both at the same time, that'd be pretty nice. I guess another nice thing to mention would be that I went over 1,000 total chests in the series this week. So that is a pretty big accomplishment. It's pretty amazing that I got this close to getting all the items in under 1,000 trips. But I guess it was pretty much, I thought it was going to take over 1,000 trips to get them all. And even with accuracy, it's going to probably even take more, because the less items that you need to complete a series, the longer it takes to get, just because I have less and less chance of getting a new item. So now it's time to see how much money I made on this wonderful week of Barrows. It was really a great week for Barrows. So let's see how much money I did actually make. Now, it's going to be a little bit different this week, because I'm starting to plan for the future when I start getting too many items to actually be able to do a normal price check. So what I decided to do this week was I will just put all the items in the inventory, like I have here. This is all the actual items I have. But the runes, the bolt racks, the money from the totems, and the cash that I actually have on hand from the items that I sold, I'm going to put into a spreadsheet and add them up all there. Now, the reason I went with the runes and the other stuff instead of the items is simply because with the runes, there's less to actually change every week, because I will start to use runes, and I need to be able to separate what runes that I actually got from Barrows from what runes that I have gotten from other sources. So the way I'm doing it this way, I can keep track of it in the spreadsheet and then just change the prices and then add up all the money by itself. And I don't even actually add up the money. I can just use the spreadsheet. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this up in the items kept on death screen, which was my wealth. And so from these Barrows items, I have 43.5 mil of carried wealth. So if we're going to add that to the spreadsheet real quick and see what it is, I'm just going to throw the spreadsheet up on the screen right here. So now with the spreadsheet on the screen, you can see that I can keep track of all the prices of the items and how much they add up to without actually having to add it up every single time, because the spreadsheet will do it for me, and it just overall makes this a much smoother process in being able to see what all I can do. So like as you can see here, I have all the money from my sold items, the current items that I'm holding, and the runes and the racks and the totems, which I'm not going to be selling much more, so that's probably going to stay that way. But in case I do sell them later, that's there for the future. So we can see that I've made a total of 177 mil from Barrows. So the last video I had like 134 mil. So that means I've made around 40 mil since last week in just Barrows. That is ridiculous with content that is this old. But I did do a lot of runs this week, almost 200 runs. So that, I guess I did put on more effort than I usually do, so I guess that does kind of add up to more money in the end anyway. But with the spreadsheet, I can see that I went back over 2 mil an hour at Barrows thanks to this week. So, yay, it's back up to 2 mil, which 1.9 was just fine with how easy Barrows is. You really don't need to worry about dying that much unless you lag, and I did die this week because of lag, and also partly my fault. But it's overall a pretty safe minigame, and it's pretty easy to make money from, as you can see. But that about wraps up this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching, and until next time, this is Mike from Fullhousers, and I will see you in my next video.